Warning: the Surgeon General has determined that portions of this video contain verbiage that is known to cause extreme boredom. Adult supervision is recommended. Hold on to your chairs, boys and girls. It's time for another exciting episode of Vlog-O-Matic!
Hi there, YouTubers. It's your old buddy Ken Bank coming back at you with another exciting episode of Vlog-O-Matic. And today the subject is haters. Well, it's finally happened. A YouTube celebrity has posted a video saying they will no longer post videos on YouTube until the haters have been dealt with. Paper Lilies has started the great YouTube hater boycott. It was only a matter of time before it happened, and we have seen it happen. Over the past few weeks, haters and the community of YouTube have been hot topics in various channels I've watched. And so I felt I should weigh in on the subject and put out my 2 cents. I think haters are a phenomena of the internet, but are a type of antisocial behavior that is mirrored in real life. The difference between real life and the internet, however, is in real life you have a direct relationship between a person and their actions. In the internet, that connection is blurred by the anonymity that is built in to the internet. So haters can practice their trade with impunity. If their user accounts are terminated because of bad behavior, they come back the next day with a new one and continue. Some of the encounters that YouTube bloggers have had with haters have been quite shocking, actually. And haters have been crossing the line. So what do we do? Well, if YouTube is a community in every sense of the word, which seems to be the take on it that most people have, that YouTube is a community regardless of the fact that it's global, regardless of the fact that we're not physically in contact, regardless of all these limitations, we are still a community. And like a community in real life, as which we are a virtual representation of, we must do the things that a real community does to stop antisocial behavior from impacting our lives. It doesn't mean that it's going to be completely gone, but it's going to be dealt with. And what we do in real life is we have police departments who patrol our streets and watch over us and enforce the rules, the laws. Well, here on YouTube we don't have laws as such. We have terms of service, which are our laws, our bylaws in this environment. But what we don't have is adequate law enforcement. And this has been brought out in a number of videos I've watched recently where people have complained that YouTube, for one reason or another, is not enforcing their own terms of service. And there's been a number of conspiracy theories on that line, saying that, some of them being that YouTube is actually encouraging haters by not discouraging them actively in order to create a buzz or create additional traffic, which means money. So I don't know if I buy that. That seems too much like a convenient conspiracy theory to me. Well, what is more likely is that it's too hard to take control of such a large problem. So that brings me to the next point. Whose problem is it? Are haters really YouTube's problem? I don't think so. I think haters are a human problem. I think haters are a community problem. And because they're our problem, we need to deal with them ourselves. Now, I'm not suggesting YouTube vigilantism. What I'm suggesting is that we, in conjunction with YouTube management, institute the YTPD, the YouTube Police Department, that would be comprised mostly of volunteers from the rank and file, who would be deputized and given a beat, if you will, who would report to a YouTube staffer who would be in the administrative position. And what the beat cops would do would be to patrol the halls of YouTube, basically taking names, identifying egregious haters, taking evidence on them, their activities, and presenting them to their YouTube handlers, who would then take action against the user. That way there would be enough of us out there watching over each other that we could afford some level of protection from these haters. We have to also make a decision whether we want to continue operations as they are, or make them more difficult for ourselves as well as for the haters. Argent 009 had an idea for a tiered for-pay YouTube, and I wanted to elaborate on that. I think it's very important that we preserve and maintain a free, inclusive internet. I think one of the greatest things about the internet is that it is essentially free. Now, most of us pay for our ISP, which isn't cheap a lot of times, but beyond that, it's free. YouTube is free, and that could be part of the problem, that it is free. When you give away something, people tend to not value it as much as they need to. If they pay a little money for it, even a small amount of money, I'm talking about $10 a year to $20 a year, they're going to value it more. Also, when people pay money, there's a money trail to follow, so that any account could be linked to a real person if necessary. Not saying that it would be done, but if necessary, an account could be linked to a real person, which would lend a measure of accountability that is not currently in the system. It's very likely that if these haters knew that they could be traced and identified and vilified in a public forum, just like in real life, they would not do it. So if you don't like the idea of paying money for YouTube, which a lot of people don't, then rather than paying money for YouTube, I suggest that we still have a tiered um, system, but the free anonymous level would not have privileges to do certain things in the community. For example, my thoughts on that would be the free accounts or the anonymous accounts, depending on your model, would only be allowed to post videos and video responses and watch videos. They would not be able to do anything else. The first level of for pay or for ID would be like our regular user accounts are now. And of course, we already have to identify ourselves pretty heavily to get a director's account. So that wouldn't necessarily change. But being able to identify that person behind the account is extremely important to provide accountability in this community. Okay, so that's my thoughts on the YTPD, the Haterz, and the tiered structure. Talk to you later.
This has been a Hugusamus Films production.